Hello, everyone. We'd like to welcome you all to the Bureau of Land Management and U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service virtual public meeting for the Coastal Plain Oil and Gas Leasing Program Draft Supplemental Environmental Impact Statement, or SEIS. We're going to give folks a few minutes here to join the webinar, and then we'll begin the PowerPoint presentation shortly, so please stay tuned. I do want to note that closed captioning is available by selecting the live transcript button icon on your Zoom toolbar and then select show subtitles. Hello, everyone. We're going to go ahead and give folks a few more minutes to join the meeting, and then we'll get started with the presentation. Again, I do want to note that closed captioning is available by clicking the live transcript button icon on your Zoom toolbar, and then you'll select show subtitles. Thank you for your patience as we wait for folks to join. Hello, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started with our meeting today, sorry. I would like to thank you all for joining us. We appreciate your time and participation. My name is Megan Stone with Environmental Management and Planning Solutions, Inc., and I'll be one of your facilitators tonight. We're the lead consulting firm that is working with the BLM and the service on this project. Additionally, we have members of the BLM and the service with us who will be introduced in a moment. Next slide, please. Before we get started with the presentation, I'm going to go over some ground rules for the meeting. First, your microphones and videos will be turned off for the duration of the meeting today. You will only be unmuted if and when I unmute you during the verbal public comment portion of the meeting if you are commenting. Second, this meeting is being recorded as part of the project record, and the recording will be posted to ePlanning. After the presentation, we will move into the verbal public comment portion of the meeting. We ran a registration report at the start of the meeting to identify those that indicated they wanted to offer verbal public comment today. These individuals are on our list of pre-registered commenters. We will randomize this list of pre-registered commenters and will call on you after I provide additional instructions. We also may have some people joining us who have multiple people in one room, so we will save those folks towards the end so we can make sure everyone in those rooms gets to comment. If we have time remaining after we have gone through our list of pre-registered commenters, we will open up the verbal public comment portion of the meeting to anyone who would like to offer a verbal public comment tonight who has not already done so, regardless of whether you selected yes or no to commenting when registering for today's meeting. To allow everyone an opportunity to provide verbal comment, we will be using a 3-minute time limit for each commenter. We will have an on-screen timer that will start when you begin your comment. If you do not get the opportunity to offer your verbal public comment today, written public comments can be submitted by November 7th, 2023 on the BLM's ePlanning website. We'll provide further information on how to submit your written public comments during the presentation and in the Zoom chat. And with that, I'll turn it over to Stephanie Coons, BLM Project Manager.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. As Megan said, my name is Stephanie Coons, and I am one of the project leads from the Bureau of Land Management. Please do note that if you have attended our previous virtual public meetings, or if you've been following along with this project since we kicked it off in early September, our comment period has been extended by 15 days, and the new deadline for comments is November 7th of this year. Thank you, and I will pass it over to Bobby Joe.
Hi, everybody. My name is Bobby Joe Skibo. I work at the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service here out of our regional office in Anchorage, Alaska. I reside in Palmer, Alaska. I am thrilled to be here. This is our last virtual public meeting. And so we've heard a lot of really meaningful information and input to date. Looking forward to hearing from everybody here today. Disappeared and we can't hear you anymore. Okay, if anybody else is having technical difficulties, we'll try to keep working on that here for you. I just wanted to again say thank you for being here. I'm the project leader for the Fish and Wildlife Service. And we are trying and attempting to plan 2 more public meetings, one in Yuktavik and in Kaktovik. Please keep an eye out on ePlanning for those updates. The other thing that I wanted to note, and I will try to put them in the chat box, is that our presentation here today has been translated in Inupiaq and also to Gwich'in. We were thrilled to be able to have the services provided to do that. So I'm going to try to pop those into the chat box in case there is anybody here that would like to utilize that translation for today. But with that, I think we have about a 20-minute video. If you could just bear with us, we'd like to give you the basic information on what is different in the supplemental EIS. And then we will go right into taking public testimony. So with that, I think we are ready to go to our video. And thanks again.
Slide 3, Agenda. Today's agenda includes a welcome and opening remarks from U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service Regional Director Sarah Borio and remarks from Bureau of Land Management Alaska State Director Steve Cohen. We will be providing an overview of the program area and agency responsibilities. We will also provide the background on how we got here and the framework we have used to complete the supplemental analysis for the oil and gas leasing program. In addition, we will provide an overview of the updated range of alternatives, including alternatives A, B, C, and D. We will discuss the tentative schedule for completion and will provide more details on how you can continue to participate in this process.
Thank you for your interest in the draft Supplemental Environmental Impact Statement for the Coastal Plain Oil and Gas Leasing Program, which was released in early September. I am Steve Cohen, the State Director for BLM Alaska, joint lead agency on this project alongside the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. BLM's involvement in this program began when the Tax Act directed us to oversee and manage the Coastal Plain Oil and Gas Leasing Program. In 2020, the BLM completed an EIS and issued a record of decision for the Coastal Plain Oil and Gas Leasing Program that we know many of you were involved in. In 2021, we received new direction to revisit that EIS and complete a supplemental EIS to address legal deficiencies noted by the Secretary of the Interior. That new direction has gotten us to this stage in the process where we are seeking your input on the draft SEIS. We know many of you care deeply about this place, and we appreciate the opportunity to hear from you. Now I will hand things over to my colleague Sarah Borio, Regional Director of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service.
Thank you, Steve, and thank you all for your interest in the draft Supplemental Environmental Impact Statement. As the land manager of the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is responsible for upholding the 5 purposes of the refuge: to conserve animals and plants in their natural diversity, to ensure a place for subsistence, hunting, and gathering activities, to protect water quality and quantity, to fulfill international wildlife treaty obligations, and more recently, to provide for an oil and gas program on the Arctic coastal plain. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service also has responsibilities under additional laws such as the Marine Mammal Protection Act, the Endangered Species Act, and the Migratory Bird Treaty Act. Throughout the supplemental EIS process, our team has worked hard to ensure that all of the purposes of the refuge were considered as we updated information. We utilized new data, science, and previously submitted and new local and Indigenous knowledge. We are glad to have had the opportunity to work closely with the Bureau of Land Management on this draft supplemental EIS. The review and development of the draft was completed by a joint interdisciplinary team of the 2 agencies that took into consideration the valuable input obtained through the scoping process and from our cooperating agencies and tribal governments. The Arctic Refuge is a place that many people care deeply about. The refuge has been homelands of Alaska Native peoples since time immemorial, a place that provides physical and cultural sustenance. It is an important place for wildlife, including denning polar bears, the porcupine and central Arctic caribou herds, and migratory birds that come from all 50 states and as far away as Antarctica to spend the summer and raise their young. Some people have visited the refuge and were inspired by its grandeur, while others only dream of visiting but take solace in its existence. Your participation in the review of this draft SEIS is important to this process. We look forward to considering your feedback and working together to develop the final supplemental environmental impact statement. Thank you.
Slide 5, Program Area. The Coastal Plain Program Area is composed of 1,563,500 acres within the 19.3 million acres of the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is the predominant land manager in the program area. Other lands in the coastal plain include Alaska Native lands conveyed pursuant to the Alaska Native Claims Settlement Act, also known as ANCSA, and other native allotments.
Okay, we are now advancing to slide 6, the history of the Arctic Refuge. In 1960, the Arctic National Wildlife Range was established by Public Land Order 2214 for the purpose of preserving unique wildlife, wilderness, and recreational values. And in 1980, the Alaska National Interest Lands Conservation Act, also known as ANILCA, redesignated and expanded the range as part of the larger Arctic Refuge. It also designated much of the original range as wilderness under the 1964 Wilderness Act and provided 4 purposes to guide management of the entire refuge.
Slide 7, Tax Act Overview. Public Law 115-97, known as the Tax Act, was signed into law on December 22, 2017, and removed a prohibition on oil and gas leasing, development, and production in the coastal plain, and created a 5th new purpose for the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, to provide for an oil and gas program on the coastal plain. In the Supplemental Environmental Impact Statement, all 5 purposes are being considered with equal importance. The Act also directed the Secretary of the Interior, acting through the Bureau of Land Management, to establish and administer a competitive oil and gas program for the leasing, development, production, and transportation of oil and gas in and from the coastal plain. Slide 8, Tax Act Requirements. The Tax Act required not fewer than 2 oil and gas lease sales within 10 years of enactment, 1 sale not later than 4 years, and a second sale not later than 7 years from enactment. The Act also required that at least 400,000 acres be offered for lease in each of the 2 lease sales in areas that have the highest hydrocarbon discovery potential. The Act also provided that up to 2,000 acres of production and support facilities could be authorized.
Slide 9, 2019 Environmental Impact Statement and Executive Order 13990. The Bureau of Land Management developed an environmental impact statement published in September 2019 and a record of decisions signed in August of 2020. In January 2021, the Bureau of Land Management held the first of 2 required lease sales and 9 lease tracts were leased. The Tax Act requires a second lease sale by December 2024. On January 20, 2021, President Biden issued Executive Order 13990, which directed the Secretary of the Interior to place a temporary moratorium on all activities related to the Arctic Refuge Oil and Gas Program, and to review the program and conduct a new comprehensive analysis of the environmental impacts of the program. Slide 10, Department Review. The Secretary of the Interior's review of the final Coastal Plain Environmental Impact Statement identified multiple legal deficiencies in the underlying records supporting the leases, including but not limited to 1. Insufficient analysis under the National Environmental Policy Act, including failure to adequately analyze a reasonable range of alternatives in the EIS, and 2. Failure in the August 2020 Record of Decision to properly interpret Section 20001 of the Tax Act. Further review identified that the foreign greenhouse gas emissions analysis was also deficient. It was also determined that information related to subsistence resources and subsistence use and access should also be reanalyzed as part of this process. The department's review led to the issuance of Secretarial Order 3401 on June 1st of 2021. That directed the BLM and Fish and Wildlife Service not to take any action to authorize any aspect of the Coastal Plain Oil and Gas Leasing Program until this Supplemental Environmental Impact Statement process was completed, and called for a notice of intent to be published that kicked off this Supplemental Environmental Impact Statement process. Slide 11. Supplemental Environmental Impact Statement Overview. The Notice of Intent was published on August 4th, 2021. 6 virtual public meetings were held between September 14th and 16th, 2021. Public scoping ended on October 4th and generated approximately 105,000 public comments that were reviewed and used in our analysis. The Oil and Gas Leasing Program Supplemental Environmental Impact Statement evaluates the impacts of different leasing scenarios and what terms and conditions could apply to those leases. It does not, in and of itself, authorize on-the-ground exploration or development. Future on-the-ground actions requiring BLM approval, including potential exploration and development proposals, would require further National Environmental Policy Act analysis based on site-specific proposals.
Slide 12, Agency Responsibilities. In 2021, the Bureau of Land Management and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service signed a Memorandum of Understanding to work as joint lead agencies on the Supplemental EIS. The BLM's main responsibility is to oversee and manage the oil and gas leasing program, which includes conducting lease sales and processing applications for relevant permits, as well as conducting the step-down National Environmental Policy Act analysis for future site-specific proposals. Now, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, as the surface manager of the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, will work closely with the Bureau of Land Management into the future on the implementation of the program to ensure that all 5 purposes of the refuge are equally considered. Although the Tax Act assigns responsibility to the BLM for administering the oil and gas program, it is understood that all activities that will be conducted on the surface of the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge would include close coordination with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and that is to ensure that the surface management considerations are taken into account. The service, where appropriate, will also engage in consultation under the Endangered Species Act. In addition, the BLM will coordinate with other appropriate federal, state, and North Slope borough agencies, tribal governments, Alaska Native Claims Settlement Act corporations, and other Native organizations as appropriate. Slide 13, Cooperator Agencies. We want to thank each of the following entities for supporting the development of the draft Supplemental EIS through providing specialized expertise and input over the last years. Their involvement in the process allows for dialogue and input that is highly valued. So thank you to the State of Alaska, the Environmental Protection Agency, the Native Village of Kaktovik, the Inupiat Community of the Arctic Slope, the Native Village of Venati Tribal Government, Venati Village Council, and the Arctic Village Council.
Slide 14, Supplemental Analysis Overview. Since the notice of intent was published in August of 2021, the joint lead agencies have been working to review and address the identified legal deficiencies and defects of the 2019 Environmental Impact Statement and Record of Decision. This review and development of the draft SEIS was completed by a joint interdisciplinary team of the two agencies working through a consensus-based process and took into consideration the valuable input that was obtained through scoping and from our cooperating agencies and tribal governments. This resulted in an updated purpose and need statement to recognize the change in joint leadership and the need to balance the 5 statutory purposes of the refuge, whereas not one purpose supersedes the others. To address the misinterpretation of Section 20001 of the Tax Act, the supplemental analysis also produced a new range of alternatives, including a completely new alternative, Alternative D, and alternatives that are estimated to have less than 2,000 acres of surface disturbance, Alternatives C and D, compared to the original EIS that had 2,000 acres of surface disturbance across all action alternatives. The team also focused on significant updates to the lease stipulations and required operating procedures using the best available science, data, and indigenous knowledges that are available. The reasonably foreseeable development scenario was also updated and refined to help us in our analysis. You can find this updated scenario in Appendix B, and you will see how each component of surface disturbance, such as central processing facilities, roads, or gravel pits, are now being calculated and how this applies to each alternative under consideration. Our team has also conducted a more comprehensive analysis of greenhouse gas emissions and have updated the analysis for your consideration in the draft SEIS. We have also updated and reanalyzed information related to subsistence resources and use and access and have produced a new ANILCA Section 810 subsistence evaluation.
Slide 15, updated range of alternatives. The table that you see shows that the alternatives under consideration include A, B, C, and D. The table also highlights how stipulations and required operating procedures were addressed and how analysis, seismic exploration, and surface disturbance acres would apply across the range. Slide 16, Alternative A, no action. Alternative A would not fulfill the direction under the Tax Act to establish and administer a competitive oil and gas leasing program. We're required to include analysis of the no action alternative in our NEPA documents. Under Alternative A, the no action alternative, no federal minerals in the coastal plain would be offered for future oil and gas lease sales following the record of decision for the supplemental EIS. Under this alternative, management actions and resource trends as described in the 2015 Arctic National Wildlife Refuge Revised Comprehensive Conservation Plan would continue. Alternative A is being considered to provide a baseline for the comparison of impacts under the action alternatives. Because no leasing, exploration, or development would occur under this alternative, no production would occur, and no surface would be disturbed by oil and gas activities. Slide 17, Alternative B. Alternative B uses the same lease stipulations and required operating procedures as Alternative B from the 2019 Environmental Impact Statement, with minor edits where appropriate. This alternative would offer the opportunity to lease the entire program area with the fewest acres of no surface occupancy stipulations. However, it would provide additional protections in the form of other lease stipulations and required operating procedures that would apply to post-lease oil and gas activities to reduce potential impacts. An estimated 2,000 acres of surface disturbance would occur under Alternative B. Once 2,000 acres of disturbance are reached, then no additional disturbance would be allowed pursuant to the Tax Act. Seismic exploration would be allowed to occur across the entire program area. You can view more regarding the areas of the coastal plain that would be available for lease sale and applicable stipulations under Alternative B in Maps 2-1 and 2-2.
Slide 18, Alternative C. Alternative C includes the same lease stipulations and required operating procedures as Alternative D1 in the 2019 Environmental Impact Statement, with minor edits where they were appropriate. The key changes under this alternative for the leasing SEIS include the following. Seismic exploration would only be allowed in areas made available for lease sale, and the reasonably foreseeable development scenario of surface disturbance would be 1,464 acres. And this is a reduction of 536 acres from Alternative B. Under Alternative C, portions of the coastal plain would not be available for lease sale as shown on Table 2-1. In addition, a large portion of the remaining area would be subject to what is considered no surface occupancy stipulations. These stipulations prohibit infrastructure on the surface, but still allow the lessee to access and produce oil and gas from the subsurface. In some instances, more prescriptive required operating procedures are analyzed under Alternative C than under Alternative B. And you can view more regarding the areas available for lease sale and the applicable stipulations. Those will be found on Map 2-3 and Map 2-4. Slide 19, Alternative D. Alternative D is the new alternative, and it addresses the National Environmental Policy Act deficiency identified by the Secretary in Secretarial Order 3401. Alternative D was derived from Alternative D2 in the 2019 Environmental Impact Statement. It also offers the minimum amount of acreage required by the Tax Act. This new alternative incorporates more protective lease stipulations and required operating procedures than any alternative previously analyzed. It has the most acres with no surface occupancy stipulations, and it stresses protection of the 4 conservation-oriented statutory purposes of the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge. It also has an area identified for no leasing in the lowest hydrocarbon potential area, which also happens to correspond to high-quality caribou habitat as well. In considering where to apply no surface occupancy stipulations, the joint lead agencies took into account the use of horizontal extended reach drilling, which can extend up to 6 or more miles from the surface drilling location. Alternative D was developed collaboratively by the joint lead agency specialists and with input from cooperating agencies and input and indigenous knowledge from our tribal governments. The reasonably foreseeable development scenario estimates that the total area of surface disturbance under Alternative D would be 1,040 acres, and this is the least of the action alternatives as shown in Appendix B. Additionally, and similar to Alternative C, seismic exploration would only be allowed in areas available for lease sale. You can view more regarding the areas of the coastal plain that would be available for lease sale and applicable stipulations for Alternative D in Map 2-5 and Map 2-6.
Slide 20, Schedule and Next Steps. The public review and comment period will run from September 8th through November 7th. The final SEIS will be published in winter of 2024. The record of decision will be published in spring of 2024. The second lease sale must be held no later than December of 2024. Slide 21, How to Participate. Thank you once again for being here and for sharing your valuable perspectives on the draft Coastal Plain Supplemental Environmental Impact Statement. Please take note of the ePlanning website, where you will be able to submit your written input and can also keep abreast of any upcoming meetings or notifications. Thank you, and we will now begin our public testimony.
Alrighty, we'll just get our screen switched here. Perfect. I'm now going to read through the instructions for those participants who indicated they wanted to offer a verbal public comment when they pre-registered for today's meeting. We have a list of these participants. As we proceed, participants will be asked to provide their comments in a randomized order. Again, if you registered before the start time of today's meeting, you are on our pre-registered commenter list. When it is your turn to provide your comment, we will read your name aloud from the list and display your name on the screen. We will also display the name of the commenter who is next in line. When you hear your name called out, please use the raise hand feature so we know you're available and ready to offer your comment. You can access the raise hand feature by clicking on either the reactions icon or the participants list icon, which are both located at the bottom of your Zoom screen. If you wave your mouse back and forth across the bottom of your Zoom screen, these icons should appear. You may need to exit your full screen view in Zoom to see these icons. You can then select the raise hand feature located either in the reactions icon or at the bottom of your participants list. Or if we have any phone callers joining us today, please press *9 on your phone keypad to raise your hand. Once you've raised your hand, you will then be unmuted so that you can provide your verbal public comment. You may be double muted. If that is the case, we will prompt you to unmute yourself on your end so that we can hear you. Please spell out your first and last name for the record before providing your verbal public comment. And if you are representing an organization or group, please say so during your comment. As mentioned earlier, we will allow 3 minutes for you to offer your comment. I'll prompt you to wrap up your comment when you have reached this 3-minute limit, and we'll also have a timer on screen. After you've provided your comment, we will mute you and move on to our next commenter. Again, once we've worked our way through the current list of pre-registered commenters, if we have time, we'll move on to those who registered after the start time of tonight's meeting, who selected they wanted to offer a comment. And if we have time remaining after that, we'll go ahead and open up the verbal public comment portion of the meeting to anyone who would like to offer a verbal comment, regardless of whether you've done so or signed up to do one. All right, next slide, please. So on the screen here, I've included some graphics showing participants where they can access the raise hand feature. On the left, you'll see that participants icon, which is one area you can find the raise hand. And then on the right, you'll see the little reactions icon, which is a smiley face. You can also find the raise hand button there. And if anyone's struggling at any point, please chat us and we'll get you some technical support. All right. Next slide, please. Okay. With that, we're going to now officially begin our verbal public comment portion to receive comments related to this SEIS. It is currently 1:30 Alaska time, so we'll go ahead and get started. Again, this verbal public comment portion of the meeting is being recorded as part of the official record. As a reminder, your camera and mic control settings are restricted during this time. You will only be able to talk if and when you are unmuted, so please remember to speak when prompted. The BLM and the service want to hear from all members of the public, so we'll be using the following guidelines today. First, be mindful of the length of your comment so that everyone who wants to speak has an opportunity to do so. Second, please be respectful of others and their viewpoints. Third, please refrain from using profanity. While passion is welcome in your comment, policy requires that we mute anyone who uses inappropriate language because we are recording this meeting and others may be live streaming, so please avoid inappropriate language. If that does happen, we'll provide a reminder before unmuting the person to try again using words acceptable to all ages. Next slide. All right, with that, we'll go ahead and get started. Our first commenter is CPAWS Yukon. They'd like to go ahead and raise their hand. We can get you unmuted. Perfect. Hi there.
Hi there, this is Lauren Fox from CPAWS Yukon, and I've got a couple elders here who would like to comment today, and this is the first here. Hello, my name is Barbara Bike, B-A-R-B-A-R-A, and last name B-U-Y-C-K. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to make a few comments.
I am from Nachanek Dun First Nation. As a Nachanek Dun citizen, I rely on the traditional foods harvested within our communities. The Nachanek Dun people we are noticing, we're part of the porcupine herd user group. And as climate change continues to push moose out of our traditional territory, we are increasingly relying on the caribou from the porcupine herd. The Nachanek Dun are opposed to any development with the Arctic refuge. Any development is a threat to the caribou and a threat to our way of life. We stand behind and support our relatives, the Kuchin. Masicho, thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Do we have any other elders with you in the room who'd like to provide a comment at this time?
Yes,
Go ahead, Lawrence.
yes, we've got one more here, thank you.
Yes, my name is Norma Cassie. I'm Vantage Chin people of the Lakes. It is very encouraging that the Biden administration has canceled the remaining fossil fuel leases within the Arctic Refuge and launched this new environmental review. We are so very grateful for every step that is being taken. I believe that it's important to think about the honor and the long history of the struggle of our people that got come to this moment. Our very survival is at stake. In particular, our elders in 1988 laid out a strong, well-formed advocacy strategy for our leadership within the Kuchin Nation to protect the Arctic coastal plain. The sacred place where life begins. Our involvement transformed the debate over the Arctic Refuge into a fight for our Indigenous rights, our very survival, and environmental justice. I'd like to take a moment here to acknowledge the work of Finest Dunaway, one of our strongest allies, who wrote a beautiful book called Defending the Arctic Refuge. Here is how he described our leadership and our advocacy. I quote, "For decades, the Kuchin have built unlikely alliances across the vast distances, from the hard marble hallways of Capitol Hill to the public libraries, churches, college, campuses, and many other venues. They have spoken from the heart and shared their knowledge and stories. Their determination to defend their homelands helped forge a diverse coalition of conscience between environmentalists, religious groups, and many others." End of quote. Without efforts and without the contributions of countless peoples across the continent, the Arctic Refuge coastal plain would have long ago been turned into an industrialized oil field. Yet it is important to emphasize the fight is far from over. Indeed, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017 requires another lease sale in 2024. And as scientists and my people, the Kuchin have been saying for decades, oil drilling is simply incompatible with other purposes of the refuge as well, including biodiversity protection and the rights of Indigenous communities to survive. Our home, our mother, our planet is experiencing great ecological turmoil. As we all know, we are transforming it to a point where we are risking the survival of millions of species, including ourselves. Our homelands here in the Arctic are experiencing these changes. I have seen in my lifetime firsthand the devastating impacts of climate change and the loss of biodiversity. Yet our caribou, the largest remaining migratory herd left on the planet, still continues to trek through our communities year after year, nourishing ourselves and many other species within our homelands. The Biden administration must work to adopt the strongest protection measures possible. Until the Arctic Refuge receives permanent protection, the fight to protect this place must continue. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you for your comment. We'll go ahead and place you back on mute. And then if we have more people join you guys in that room, we're happy to circle back. Okay. Our next pre-registered commenter is Delula Erickson. I'll go ahead and unmute you now, Delula. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can. Can you spell your first and last name for the record, please?
Yes, Dalula Erickson, Diloola Erickson, Erickson.
Thank you. You can begin your comment.
Zanazun, Dalula Ann Uza, Gathdo, Hutsin Danslet, Fairbanks Lesto. My name is Dalula Ann. My family comes from Gathdo or Celtic, out on the Yukon River. And I am wanting to comment in opposition of the lease sales for the Arctic Refuge. I want to stand in solidarity with my relatives upriver of me, who rely on the porcupine caribou herd and the other animals that make their home in the Arctic Refuge and rely and depend on the health of those lands for the health of their communities. The interior of Alaska is facing a food crisis right now for our Indigenous communities in regards to the dwindling supply of our foods. Our moose, our populations are down. There is a fish crisis on the Yukon. And the porcupine caribou herd is one of the only sustaining, growing food sources accessible to our people right now. And it is in direct opposition of the five goals of the Arctic Refuge. Land use are in opposition of each other. You cannot achieve goal 1 through 4 with goal 5 included. And I just wanted to comment in support of the Gwich'in people who have been standing in defense of these lands for decades, for generations now, and to urge the Biden administration to make the right choices in protecting these lands, and to make decisions that will prevent further destruction of our food sources and our Indigenous ways of life. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment, Tallulah. We'll go ahead and place you back on mute and lower your hand. All right. Our next pre-registered commenter is Thea Lefkowitz. I'll go ahead and unmute them now. Hello, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
We can.
Oh, great. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here and others to be here today. I want to, and you did a great job pronouncing my name. Thank you.
Can you spell your first and last name just for the record, please?
Yes. My first name is Thea, Thea. My last name is Levkovitz, Levkovitz.
Thank you.
I'd like to acknowledge that I live in Sammamish, Washington, on the indigenous land of the Snoqualmie people. I am a private citizen. On June 16th of this year, I awoke on Old Man Creek on the Hula Hula River, surrounded by thousands of caribou and calves. I had been on the refuge one other time on the Congacut River shortly after the Exxon Valdez oil spill from where I was living in Prince William Sound. Any oil that would come from the refuge would make its way down the Trans-Alaska Pipeline and make its way back to going through Prince William Sound. I saw firsthand the devastation of the oil, the 11 million gallons of Alaska crude oil that completely spoiled and still has had impact in the Prince William Sound. I do also want to thank the Biden administration for canceling the leases. I would like to see all alternatives and makers of decision on every level to fully consider the impacts of oil and gas development on the rights of the Gwich'in people. Although there have been some improvements in the draft SEIS, it's still not enough. The coastal plain is clearly the sacred place where life begins for the Gwich'in people, for the caribou, and for those of us whose hearts and souls know the importance of these lands. All potential impacts need to be considered, and we need to adopt measures that will protect this land and the inhabitants of the land, four-legged, those that fly, those with wings, those that swim, in perpetuity. And the alternatives set forth right now in the draft SEIS do not have enough protection. I urge the Biden administration to fully consider all of these public comments, and avoid anything that fragments the calving ground. That's really, I'm sure there's much more detailed comments that people will submit, but thank you for your time, and thank you for everybody else who's shown up today.
Thank you, Thea. We'll go ahead and place you back on mute and move on to our next randomized pre-registered commenter, who is Ashley Davis. I've unmuted you, Ashley. Can you hear us?
Hi, yes, I can hear you.
Perfect.
My name is Ashley Davis, and I spell it ASHLEYDAVIS. Thank you so much for the opportunity to provide public comment today. I am testifying as the Climate and Justice Partnership Organizer with the Alaska Wilderness League. I wanted to first start by expressing my gratitude to the Biden administration for canceling all the remaining oil and gas leases in the Arctic Refuge. This was a big step, and we celebrate it. I look forward to the day when the coastal plain is fully and permanently protected for the sake of critical ecosystems, out of concern for our global climate, and with respect to members of the Gwich'in Nation on both sides of the border, who have been leading the fight to protect this sacred place for years. I understand that at this juncture, one more lease sale is required by law, and I urge you to adopt robust protections as part of the process. This draft SEIS has made many improvements, but more needs to be done to ensure strong protections for the land, wildlife, and subsistence resources in compliance with the law. We will be submitting written comments that detail the opportunities for further protection and ask that you fully and carefully consider them. Hundreds of thousands of people from Alaska, around the country, and around the world are concerned about the future of the coastal plain. We hope you fully consider the input shared today and the thousands of other comments shared during this public process. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment, Ashley. We'll go ahead and move on to our next commenter, who is Ward Hins. And I see Ward has their hand up, so I'll go ahead and unmute them now. Hi, Ward, can you hear us? Looks like you're still getting unmuted. Just in case you're having trouble unmuting, I'll go ahead and prompt you to unmute. You should see something. Perfect. Hi there. Can you hear us, Ward? Oh. All right. Yeah, perfect.
Can you hear me?
If you could, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Okay, good.
Can you spell your first and last name?
Yes, I can now, yes. So as you indicated, my name is Ward Hines. It's spelled WARDHINDS. And thank you very much for the opportunity to speak today. I think it would be a tragic mistake if any sort of oil or gas exploration, much less drilling on these sacred lands, was allowed to go forward. And I hope that there will be every effort to prevent that from happening. Obviously, the people who live there are the ones who would suffer most, but our entire planet would suffer if oil and gas exploration and drilling were allowed on this land. As everyone here has mentioned briefly, we know that we are facing an existential threat from climate change, and the rate of progress in climate changes appears to be rapidly increasing. Both August and September of this year were the world's hottest record for these months ever on record. And the summer of 2023 broke dozens of all-time heat records in many locations around the globe. The average sea surface temperature hit an all-time record of almost 70 degrees on July 31st this year. Arctic ice has decreased by more than 2 million square kilometers and is currently decreasing by more than 12% each decade. Antarctica is losing about 150 billion tons of ice per year, and Greenland is losing about 270 billion tons of ice each year. And of course, this is raising sea levels, among other things. The average sea level worldwide had risen more than 8 inches since records began being kept in 18. Although this may seem like a small piece of land that we are talking about, it would contribute significantly to the overall planetary increase in greenhouse gases if any sort of oil and gas exploration, not to even mention drilling, was allowed to occur. So I hope that whatever decision is made, it will protect not only these sacred lands, but also the planet. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you for your comment, Ward. We'll go ahead and get your hand lowered and then move on to our next person, who is going to be Phyllis Names. I'll go ahead and unmute you now, Phyllis. Hi there, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
It's a teeny bit muffled, but we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you for this opportunity, and I want to especially thank President Biden for canceling the leases. My testimony comes from my heart. I've been to the Arctic Refuge. I backpacked the Cundicut River and saw small herds of caribou turn into hundreds and then thousands pouring over the passes. The entire refuge, health of the refuge, depends on the coastal plain. And besides climate change, that we need the coastal plain for the caribou, and we need the coastal plain for the health of the entire refuge. I can't state enough that the Arctic Refuge belongs to all Americans, and we have to protect it from this assault. Fossil fuels are causing storms all over the planet, and we don't need to destroy. This is America's last pristine wilderness. The only other one is Death Valley, and look how it's suffering from warming. And so I appreciate you listening to my testimony, and I urge that we do not do any further damage to the coastal plain for our country and for our climate. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment, Phyllis. We'll go ahead and lower your hand and move on to our next pre-registered commenter, who is Becky Cohen. I don't see we have Becky in our participants list, and I don't see any phone callers on. So we'll circle back and see if Becky joins us later, and then we'll go and move on to our next pre-registered commenter, Andrea Vinegar. Go ahead and unmute you now. Hi there, can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
We can. Can you spell your first and last name for the record, please?
ANDREAFENIGER.
Thank you. You can begin your comment.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to testify today. I want to echo the sentiment of a lot of the commenters before me in appreciating the Biden administration's cancellation of existing oil leases, and just stressing how important it is to so many people, especially the ones that live in the Arctic, but all of us around the planet, that this incredible wilderness stays untouched and intact. I've had the opportunity to recreate in the Arctic Refuge and consider it some of the most important times of my life. And I hate the thought that I will be part of the last generation who has that opportunity. Of course, I want to stand with the Gwich'in people, and I feel that the SEIS has not taken into account their the impact of their subsistence lifestyles as much as it could. And I implore that to be considered more. I want to stress that the conservation alternative should limit the leasable area to no more than the minimum needed for any mandatory sale and not an acre more. I understand that the Tax Act requires another lease sale, and so I implore the Biden administration to keep it to as minimum as humanly possible. And of course, also drilling in this region will impact wildlife, including the caribou herds, which are so sacred to Native Alaskans, but also polar bears, migratory birds, and ecosystems in ways that, you know, are going to be really permanent and just have awful effects for the planet. So again, thank you so much for the opportunity, and protect the Arctic Refuge.
Thank you for your comment, Andrea. We'll go ahead and move on to our next pre-registered commenter, who is Julie Beer. I do see they have their hand raised, so I'll unmute them now. Hi, Julie, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you
Okay.
spell your first and last name for the record, please?
Okay. I'm Julie Beer. That's Julie, last name Beer, Beer. I live in Palo Alto, California, and I thank you for the opportunity to let me speak. I received my college degree in environmental biology, and I just love Alaska. I lived on Kodiak Island as a young child and have thoroughly enjoyed visiting Alaska as an adult on 3 different occasions. I love the wildness of Alaska and I want to protect it. I thank the Biden administration for canceling the existing leases in the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge. And I want the strongest possible environmental protection for the coastal plain through the new Supplemental Environmental Impact Statement. Of the options presented, I prefer Alternative A, but I'm not sure that that's even available. If it's not, I believe that Alternative D, as in dog, is the best. It's the most environmental option available. I worry about the future of the porcupine caribou herd and the Gwich'in community that has relied upon this herd for their needs for such a long time. I want strong protection for both the caribou herd and the Gwich'in community. I also really worry greatly about climate change. The Arctic North is experiencing faster warming than here in California, in the continental United States. I saw an excellent documentary not too long ago about Newtok, Alaska. Global warming has caused the permafrost beneath the village to melt, creating unsafe living conditions. The village used to be a distance from the ocean, but now the ocean is right at their doorstep. Several families have already been relocated, a very expensive process. More money will be needed to relocate the rest of Newtok Village. So please, I ask that you provide the strongest possible environmental protection while considering the remaining lease in the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comment, Julie. We'll move on to our next pre-registered commenter, who is Adam Garth. I don't see Adam in our participants list, but again, we can circle back if they join us later on. And so with that, we would move to Andrew Hefner. I also don't see Andrew Hefner in our list of participants right now, so we can circle back to Andrew as well. And with that, we'll move to our next commenter, who is Doreen Levitt. And I don't see that Doreen is on with us at the moment. We can circle back to her as well. With that, we'll move to our next pre-registered commenter, John Sonin. John, I know you've had your hand raised for a minute. Thank you for your patience. Can you hear us?
I certainly can. I hope you can hear me.
We can hear you. Can you spell
Excellent.
first and last name for the record, please?
I'm John Sonin, JOHNSONIN, from Douglas, Alaska. And I want to make sure that your next lease sale, or last, final, and mandatory, I guess, lease sale, is that it considers more than just surface. I don't forget the wording you use, but the biological diversity that sustains life for everybody on the planet, especially the Gwich'in up in on the coastal plain and their caribou, porcupine caribou herd, demands, as a previous speaker noted, those billions of ice that are melting away. They keep the planet cooled. So Death Valley remains biodiverse. Somebody spoke about that, but also everywhere else, the quality of existence right now requires a temperature range that we've endured for the last hundreds of millions of years. And it's reliant on those billions of tons of ice melting away in Greenland and Antarctica and the Arctic to keep the planet tempered. I mean, with all its extremes, of course, but those are variable and very inconsistent normally, but they're becoming very consistent more recently, that's for sure. I mean, there were probably some other points I wanted to hit on, but that it's all reliant on the biodiversity, that it sustains the quality of existence we've come to enjoy and prosper in. And if we don't consider that last remaining lease sale as a no-go completely, even for the subsurface life and impacts, the Gwich'in abundance with their caribou herd is going to be hindered by its basis in the food chain. I mean, in the chain of life and the system, planetary system of this Garden of Eden that we've been blessed to be born in. So I want you to be sure to consider more than just the surface life on the last lease sale here, but I am grateful for all the other sales being nixed. We have a desire for happiness in our lives, and if we're under stress, we cannot be fulfilled. And everybody in the world wants fulfillment in their life. I guess that should be about all. So thank you for taking my comments.
Thank you for your comment, John. We'll go ahead and move on to our next pre-registered commenter, Lisa Sharon. Go ahead and unmute you, Lisa. Hi there, are you able to hear us? Hi, Lisa, can you hear us? Looks like we're not able to hear you. Oh, there we go. Hi. Hi, Lisa, would you still like to provide a comment?
Okay. Thanks.
And your audio is cutting in and out a little bit. Just wanted you to let you know that.
Lost my yes.
Hi. Lisa, we're not able to hear
Oh,
you.
yes, definitely. Yeah. Sorry, something happened with my. Yeah, I'm having issues with the internet, so.
No worries. It sounds better now.
Yeah, I know. I
you
might
want
have
us
to. I've been
circle
having
back
some
to you?
issues with it. Should I plug in my phone or something?
Yeah,
You can't hear me at all?
No, we can hear you. Can
Hello?
you hear us? I don't think she can hear us.
Oh, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Just now.
We can hear you,
So,
Lisa. If
hello?
you're
Oh boy.
yes.
Oh,
If
it
you're
does?
ready to
Oh.
provide your comment,
Well, if you can hear me now, maybe we should try it because it's been kind of intermittent. So,
okay, go ahead.
yeah, it is. Yeah, okay. Do I need to spell my name?
That would
Do
be
you want me
great.
to spell my name? All right. Well, Lisa Sharon, Scharis. Well, I oppose all oil and gas drilling in the Arctic refuge, and I would like to see lasting protection for the refuge, and ask President Biden to work with Congress to repeal the Tax Act provision that opened up the refuge to oil and gas leasing. I'm hoping that we get a permanent protection, like so many people have said, to finally, put this on an executive order to protect the Arctic refuge from any oil leasing whatsoever. I think that, right now we're really, like, as so many people have said, this is a dire moment and we need to address that. And I do want to thank the Biden administration for canceling the existing leases. But I think that we should now make sure that this entire area is protected forever. And we see what's happening with the permafrost, as people have mentioned. People are having to leave the area. Their homes are sinking. The permafrost and all of that methane and carbon that's stored there can be released, even with the horizontal drilling that they're proposing. So I think that that's a very dangerous idea, to start digging underneath that permafrost. We also know that the denning habitats for these polar bears are in jeopardy, with them being crushed in their dens, and the seismic testing and everything else. These animals we see are starving, and I hear the indigenous peoples, like Gwich'in people, urging that they need their subsistence, the wildlife that's there that they have been relying on and is part of their culture. I think that we need to address would happen when we disrupt this region of the earth. I think we've done enough damage throwing all kinds of ecosystems out of whack and being so imbalanced. And I would like to see further stronger protections for the Canning River Delta and the Camden Bay area. And I think that these loopholes are dangerous with the surface occupancy stipulations. I think that would probably, open up, any kind of infrastructure that we should not be doing. Again, we should just leave this area alone. Finally, make sure it is a refuge and respect indigenous peoples and, the animals that we see them starving and dying, and, we are doing enough damage. And I think it's time that we become, better stewards. And, your duty is to conserve and preserve. So it would be nice to do your job and stop listening to fossil. Thank you very much for your time.
you for your comment, Lisa. We'll go ahead and move to our next pre-registered commenter, who is Jordan Peterson. I don't see Jordan in our participants list, but we can circle back to them if they end up joining us later. So with that, we'll move on to our next pre-registered commenter, Isabel Grant. Isabel, if you'd like to provide a comment, perfect. I see your hand raised. Hi there, can you hear us?
Hi, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Can you spell your first and last name for the record, please?
Yes, my name is Isabel Grant, ISABEL GRANT.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity to comment today. I'm representing myself and the nonprofit organization Defenders of Wildlife. I am calling in from traditional Dena'ina lands where I both live and work. I would first like to thank the Biden administration for canceling the existing drilling lease sales in the Arctic Refuge coastal plain. This decision was an important step towards protecting the vital habitat within the refuge. The coastal plain is a key component of our planet's climate resiliency and an irreplaceable habitat for migratory birds, caribou, polar bears, and many other species. Oil and gas development in this area is a direct threat to the porcupine caribou herd, as their calving grounds are located on the coastal plain. These caribou are integral to the culture, traditions, and food security of the Gwich'in Nation. The draft SEIS does not provide strong enough protections for the porcupine caribou herd and does not acknowledge how oil and gas development threatens the rights and cultures of Indigenous people in the Arctic. Every year, thousands of migrating birds travel from all 50 states and 5 continents to reach the coastal plain to nest and raise their young. Oil and gas development in this area would have long-lasting negative effects on the birds that depend on it. And the plain also contains critical denning habitat for the world's most imperiled polar bear population, the southern Beaufort Sea polar bears. This habitat is essential for their continued survival, and oil and gas drilling risks destroying it. Despite improvements made in the draft SEIS, the protections offered in Alternative D are not strong enough to adequately protect this vital habitat. And we urge the Biden administration to carefully consider public comments and adopt stronger protections for the people and wildlife that depend on the Arctic Refuge coastal plain. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment, Isabel. Go ahead and place you back on mute. And we will move to our next commenter, Naomi Zucker. I'll unmute you, Naomi. Hi, can you hear us?
Hi. Thank you very much. My name is Naomi Zurcher. That's NAOMI-ZURCHER. I am offering comments in support of Alternative A as a forestry professional and concerned citizen regarding ANWR, established in 1960. Refuge designation indicates this land is key habitat for a variety of different species. In addition, it is land sacred to the Gwich'in people, as well as the calving grounds for the porcupine caribou herd, recognized in a treaty signed by the US and Canada in 1987 as a, quote, unique and irreplaceable natural resource of great value, which each generation should maintain and make use of so as to conserve them for future generations. Requirements not compatible with oil and gas development, the costs the resulting destruction instigates globally, or protecting the rights of the Gwich'in people and their culturally sacred land. While I would like to thank the Biden administration for canceling the coastal plain leases, and while the draft SEIS has made some improvements in the protection of ANWR, it is not adequate in its recognition of the widespread impacts of development in the Arctic Refuge that requires an extensive complex of roads, pipelines, a vast array of supporting infrastructure, or the spills that occur routinely, nor has it encompassed a broad enough perspective to ensure enforceable conservation of these sacred refuge lands. Given that the 2017 Tax Act did not override any coastal plain protection laws, the SEIS must consider all potential development impacts to land, air, and water, and the life all of that supports, and establish enforceable conservation measures that protect and conserve this sacred place now and for all future generations. The SEIS must recognize the value a protected ANWR has in the mitigation of climate crisis impacts, conservation of the porcupine caribou, as well as keystone species such as Arctic lemmings, the 70+ species of birds that nest on the coastal plain, hibernating polar bears, and the critically important predator populations of grizzlies, wolves, wolverines, and lynx. Our planet's ability to continue to support life must drive the thought process of the SEIS. The Gwich'in people and the refuge's biodiversity are depending on the DOI to craft an SEIS that will ensure ANWR's future without oil and gas. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comment, Naomi. We'll go ahead and move on to our next pre-registered commenter, who is Santa Claus. And I do see Santa is on our list. Perfect. I'll go ahead and unmute you now. Hi there. Can you hear us? I see that you're not unmuted yet, just in case you're having trouble. Oh,
Hi.
perfect.
Is that better?
That's
Hi,
better.
this is Santa Claus in North Pole. It's SANTA-CLAUS. And my thanks to you and BLM for inviting us to testify regarding future leasing for oil and gas in the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge and the National Petroleum Reserve, Alaska. I'm grateful to the Biden administration for canceling the previous leases. To repeat an oft-heard expression, defend the sacred and protect the Arctic refuge. Whatever the BLM does and decides, it will have a profound impact on the lives, livelihoods, and subsistence capabilities of many, especially the Gwich'in people and their children. In addition to being a former mayor pro tem of the city of North Pole, I'm affiliated with the Sierra Club Alaska, and I'm a clergyman, as my namesake, St. Nicholas, was many centuries ago. When I went to seminary, I was taught that we are to love our Creator and love, nourish, and protect one another, especially our children, and the sacred gifts our Creator gave us, the land, air, and water. The Sierra Club Alaska, among other prominent organizations, has demonstrated that the Gwich'in people are dependent on the porcupine caribou herd for subsistence, and that the seismic exploration poses a severe threat to the herd's birthing areas, as well as to the polar bear cubs and polar bear denning areas. Fossil fuels have a detrimental impact on our water, land, air, atmosphere, and climate. Nationwide, there have been mining and fracking disasters, LNG and gas leaks, oil spills, destruction of public roads, disturbance of wildlife and subsistence resources on public lands, and pollution of waterways. The BLM should factor into its decision regarding the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge and National Petroleum Reserve, Alaska, the fossil fuel industry's utter repeated failure to prevent, contain, and clean up after such incidents and mitigate their substantial damages. In addition, up here in the Arctic, the BLM must consider the impacts of permafrost melt, methane release, and biological contaminants on our environment, infrastructure, and national defense capability. The no surface occupancy NSO conservation alternatives proposed for the area continue to allow harmful infrastructure and activities. The numerous loopholes and unwarranted size of the proposed area are unacceptable. Our natural resources belong to each and every one of us Alaskans to steward wisely and ensure that our own population, first and foremost, has sufficient energy, food, shelter, pure water, and clean air. We should not continue to sell out to outside entities. Instead, I believe BLM's Alternative A is the best choice at the moment. Most of us who are old enough to vote have a responsibility to protect our beloved children. Now is the time to prove to our children that the greatest gift is love. Love our Creator, love one another, protect our earth, air, water, and subsistence resources, defend the sacred, protect the Arctic refuge. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your comment, Santa. We'll go ahead and place you back on mute and then move on to our next pre-registered commenter, Jean Norgard. We'll go ahead and unmute you, Jean. Hi there, can you hear us? We'll give you a moment to unmute.
Can you hear me now?
We can. Can you
Okay.
spell your first and last
Yes.
name? Thank you.
Yes, my name is Jean Norgard. That's JeanneNorrgard. I live in Bloomington, Minnesota. That's in the upper Midwest of the lower 48 states. I am testifying today as a concerned citizen. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to testify. I have not visited Alaska and the Arctic Refuge except virtually. Even if I never make it there in person, I am vitally interested in keeping the Arctic Refuge wild, and I'm interested in the well-being of the plants, animals, and birds that live on and visit the refuge, and also in the well-being of the native peoples who rely on the Arctic Refuge for their subsistence. Besides that focus, I am also greatly concerned about the larger focus of climate change and the negative impacts the gas and oil industries have on our planet, and our swiftly closing window of opportunity to mitigate the worst impacts of climate change. We are in a fight for our very existence. I would like to thank the Biden administration for canceling the existing oil and gas leases in the Arctic Refuge. For this new environmental review, I am asking the administration to enact the strongest possible protections and requirements that must be met by the oil and gas industries to ensure the fewest possible negative impacts on the wildlife and nearby communities. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comment, Jean. Go ahead and move on to our next pre-registered commenter, Cindy Craven. I don't see that we have Cindy in our participants list at the moment, but again, we can circle back to them if they join later on. So with that, we will move to our next pre-registered commenter, who is Bruce Craig. And I do see Bruce in our list. We'll go ahead and unmute you, Bruce. Hi there, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can. Can you spell your first and last name for the record, please?
Bruce, B-R-U-C-E, Craig, K-R-A-I-G.
Thank you. You can begin your comment.
My name is Bruce Craig. I live in Bellingham, Washington, traditional homeland of the Lakhtamish, people of the sea. I am a member of the Alaska Wilderness League, but I am not speaking on behalf of that organization. I want to thank President Biden for canceling the gas and oil leases. And I want to say that I strongly support alternative A. I understand that current US law makes that unlikely to be chosen. So my next strongest support goes to alternative D, as in Denali. And I have been an ecologist since childhood. At the age of 7, I subscribed to a magazine of the Natural Resources Department of my state. And I read that magazine cover to cover by myself at the age of 7. I have had the honor of being an educator of young children. I'm now retired. And I could go on for 100 minutes, but I have about 1:30. So with that time remaining, I want to take a moment of silence. I will remain silent for 10 seconds so we can think about the damage we people have already done to our beautiful earth. Moment of silence starting now. Thank you. I will now sing a little song. Mother Earth is hurting, heal her now. We are her children, we need her. Mother Earth is hurting, heal her now. We are her children, we need her. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment, Bruce. We'll go ahead and place you back on mute. And we will move on to Brennan Lagasse. I'm sorry, Brennan, if I mispronounced that. Can you hear us okay?
I can, yeah, and that's okay. It's Lagasse.
Okay, perfect. Can you spell your first and last name for us?
Sure. First name Brennan, Brennan. Last name Lagasse, Lagasse.
Thanks. You can begin your comment.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I come to you from traditional lands and territories of the Washoe people in and around the areas of Lake Tahoe. I have a letter here written, but like I often do in my classes, I'm a professor at the University of Nevada, Reno, Lake Tahoe. I'm speaking for myself though. And I have a letter and I work with students on writing letters. And what I think the right thing to do is to go back to the comments that have been made since 1988 up until this current time and really do what you know the right thing is to do, which is just to listen to the elders. That's the right thing to do. From 1988 and prior up until now, that's the right thing to do. Alternative D doesn't go far enough. You have some wonderful comments here from all sorts of different people. And it just simply doesn't add up. Of course, that there has to be, by law, another sale, but no bid will likely and hopefully go through because the public is very aware that this isn't a place to disturb. And that's the consistent message. That's what you got to listen to Nora Cassidy today. What an honor to hear her voice and the work of Finus and his wonderful book. I'd also like to make a mention of the Gwich'in Climate Report that came out recently from Arctic Village resident Matthew Gilbert, and as well as the work of so many different folks across the country and the world to protect the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, especially work done by Netzai Gwich'in Elder Sarah James and Inuvik Elder Robert Thompson. Quite simply, this is not a sacrifice zone, and oil is incompatible with any sort of work in the coastal plain. This last slice of the semi-protected land on Alaska's North Slope, with all of the rest open to development. Again, people know this, but with the energy going to looking at banks and insurance companies like my students and I look at often in terms of climate injustice is in how this is even allowed to continue to persist. In the public eye, this isn't the right way to go. It's why the Biden administration is surprised, or seemingly said they were surprised by the pushback with Willow. It's like, well, pay attention. You did a wonderful job of pulling off these leases and talking about protecting more land to the east, but it's not enough. Alternative A is the only way. Listening to elders is the only way. Gas, development doesn't really benefit anybody but the few that are going to stand to continue to make the money that they do. So I do appreciate the time to speak. I appreciate everybody offering their time today and ask you to listen to the elders and go back to Alternative A. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your comment, Brennan. All right, we will be moving to some folks who might have a few people in the room. Our first is the Vuntut Gwich'in First Nation. And if we have anyone there who would like to provide a comment, please feel free to raise your hand. I don't see that we have anyone who's joined with that name specifically, but I know there might be others joining and representing the Vuntut Gwich'in Nation under different names. So please feel free to raise your hand. But with that, we'll go ahead and move on to CPAWS Yukon. I know that we had some folks from this room speak earlier and provide comments, but we'll go ahead and see if there's anyone else who would like to provide comments. Perfect. I see your hand raised, so we'll go ahead and unmute you now. Hello. Give you a moment to unmute. Perfect.
Hi, once again, my name is Norma Cassie, and I just, sitting here just overwhelmed with all the incredible speakers that are coming forward. I just want to say that, that our communities in the hierarchical regions are becoming very food insecure. We are experiencing some major climate change and things that are happening to us. We no longer enjoy salmon on our plates anymore, and we live along the major tributaries that feeds into the Yukon, into the coast of Alaska. We are very concerned about that. And our caribou herd keeps coming by our communities to feed our people, and we don't take very much. And I just want to add that in all the history of the Gwich'in people and my people, we have never engaged in big game hunting. We have always maintained that we protect that caribou herd and the sovereignty of our nation, of our Arctic regions through this caribou herd, and look after our people and the species that come our way. The thousands and thousands of birds that come and converge in our homelands, in the wetlands, in Old Crow Flats for hundreds of years have now dwindled down to very few, and carrying a disease that is now called the bird flu. So as we become more and more food insecure, our people begin to feel unrest and start moving to the cities, which is not good at all for the cities also. And it's very difficult that way. We have got to maintain our food species as long as we possibly can. Right now, the porcupine caribou herd at approximately 200,000 is still very strong and very healthy. We have not seen, thank the Creator, we have not seen any diseases within that herd. And we take care of it in the best of our ways for hundreds of years. And we want to do that. We want to continue doing that. And I just want to say how grateful I am for all the voices that come here today, and hope and to give a strong message to Biden and his administration to please, let's do this. Let's protect this now. It's been years and years and years that we've been at this, and we need to do something immediately. Thank you very much. Masik Cho Shalaknai.
Thank you for your comment. Is there anyone else in the room with you guys who would like to provide a comment? I think at this time we've worked our way through our pre-registered commenters, so we can open up the meeting to anyone who would like to provide a comment, regardless if you already had done so or if you signed up to comment or not. Also, I did go back and do a quick look on those folks who we called on but weren't on the meeting at the time, and we've confirmed that they still have not joined us. So I think we're good to move on and open up the comment session. But I did just want to offer to the CPAWS Yukon room, if there's anyone else who would like to provide a comment, please feel free.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to just make a quick comment, if that's all right. My name is Chris CHRISPINKERTON, and I represent CPAWS Yukon. I think that what we've heard today, thank you for the opportunity to speak. I think we've heard from some very powerful speakers today, and I'd like to thank everyone who has taken the opportunity to speak and to share their opinion on the SEIS and the Arctic Refuge. I'd like to thank the Biden administration for canceling the existing leases. And I think Norma Cassie here has made some incredible points. And I don't want to follow her up with something less. But what I would like to note is that we've heard here today almost across the board that the alternative A is really what people want to see. They want to see land not made available for sale. They want to see protection for the wildlife, for the biodiversity, for the people who live there. And we've also heard that alternative A does not meet the tax guidelines and therefore is not really an option. And that's something that I'd like to note and comment as something deeply satisfying or deeply saddening. But I also hope that there are people listening here who maybe haven't chosen to comment that are hearing the public tone and outrage at the potential for development happening in the region. And I just hope that these voices and the comments that are being made bring this message to the Biden administration and to companies who might be looking to invest and share the opinion widely that protection is what's in order and wanted in the area, not further development. And as we've heard with the 4 pillars in the refuge that all work well together, and the 5th that's been added on that stands in direct opposition with the other 4, I think it's a real challenge to say that they're being looked at equally when they're in direct opposition with each other. I think that's all I'd like to say for now. Once again, thank you to everyone who's been commenting on this, and I look forward to hearing more. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you again for your comment. All right. I think we'll go ahead and move on to a hand raise that I see, and then if there's anybody in the CPAWS room that would like to provide a comment later on, please feel free to raise your hand. Our next person with their hand raised is John Strassenberg, so I'm going to go ahead and unmute them now. Hi, John, can you hear us? We'll give you a second to unmute, and then if you're having trouble with... Perfect.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
Okay, my name is John Strassenberg, JOHN STRASSENBURG. And I live in Talkeetna, Alaska. And I'd say for well over 35 years, I've actively fought oil and gas development in the refuge coastal plain. And I've always supported its wilderness protection. And I'm going to be submitting comments in writing as well. But I just wanted to read something to you. And this is taken from the words of Congressman Morris Udall, who was giving his remarks at Commonwealth North in Anchorage, Alaska, regarding oil and gas development in the Arctic Refuge coastal plain. And this was in August of 1987. And Congressman Udall said, "I am impressed once again with the magnificence of the Arctic Refuge. Any man with eyes to see and a soul to feel can sense the greatness of that place. What is at stake there is not just a number of caribou or polar bear or snow geese. It is a whole place, as true a wilderness as there is anywhere on this continent. And unlike any other that I know of, you cannot move industrial civilization to that place without losing what it is." So I guess I would support alternative A. And alternative D, as in dog, is much improved over the Trump administration, SEIS or EIS. And so basically that's better, but it's not good enough. And I support the no action alternative A. So thank you.
Thank you for your comment, John. All right. As a reminder to folks, we have opened up the comment period, the comment session this evening to anyone who would like to provide a comment, regardless if you've already commented this evening or if you didn't register to provide a comment when you did the registration for tonight's meeting. So anyone's welcome to speak at this time. And just in case we do have any phone callers on, to access the raise hand feature, you'll press *9. We ask anyone who wants to provide a comment, raise their hand so that we know we can unmute you and that you're ready to provide your comment. And I think we'll go ahead and put some information in the chat about how you can submit comments. You can submit those either through ePlanning, virtually, and we'll get that link in the chat. It's also up on the screen. And you're also welcome to mail in hard copy comments, written comments, or again, provide a verbal public comment here tonight. And then again, just a reminder for everyone, the comment period was extended and the new date to submit comments is by November 7th. So we'll go ahead and keep an eye out, see if anybody else has their hand raised and would like to provide a comment. And I'm also going to do a second look and just see if any of the folks that we had called on earlier who weren't here are maybe now on the meeting. That was Becky Cohen, Andrew Hefner, Dorian Levitt, Adam Garth, Jordan Peterson, and Cindy Crayman. Still not seeing those folks on, so we'll go ahead and keep an eye out, see if they join. But other than that, the floor is open and we encourage anyone to come forward and provide a comment. Then we did get that link in the chat. If you click on that link, there is a Documents tab, and if you go to that, you should see all of the documents related to this effort. You can find the SEIS and associated documents there. You can see information about public meetings that were held. And then also on the left, you'll see a green Participate Now button. And if you click that, that is where you'll go to the ePlanning comment portal and be able to submit your comments. Usually it's good to try and submit comments through a computer browser. I know sometimes mobile version can be a little bit finicky, so but yeah, we've also got that mailing address in the chat, and we'll give it a moment. Okay, I see we have a hand raised from Catherine Petruka. Go ahead and unmute you, Catherine. Can you hear us?
Sorry, I accidentally raised my hand. So sorry.
No problem. Are you sure you don't want to comment?
I mean, sure, I guess I'll comment because I'm here. I'll spell my name KATIE-PIETRUCHA. Like all of the other commenters that have gone before, you know, I'd like to reiterate my support for alternative A, but I think we all understand that at the current circumstance, that is not a permissible alternative. So hope that you all will consider moving forward with alternative D if an alternative with stronger protections is not available at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. I'll go ahead and mute you now. All right. Let's see. We'll give it a second, see if there's any more hands raised. And then again, a reminder, you can find that raise hand feature at the bottom of your Zoom screen in the little toolbar or in the participants list. All right, no hands raised so far. Again, if anyone wants to provide a comment, we've opened the floor up. So anyone's welcome to comment regardless of whether you checked the yes box when asked if you wanted to comment when registering for the meeting, or if you've already gone, you're welcome to comment again. Otherwise, I think we'll go ahead and close out the meeting in the next 5 minutes or so. We don't have any more commenters, and we'll do some closing remarks. So until then, we'll keep an eye out for hands raised, but we'll keep the comment session going for another 5 minutes. All right, I see that we have another hand raised from Bruce Craig. I'll go ahead and unmute you, Bruce.
Hello,
Hi.
can you hear me?
We can hear you.
And so I've already spoken, and it's okay to speak a little bit more?
Yes, that's fine.
Thank you for the opportunity. I just want to say that, like the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, I too was established in 1960. I was born in April of 1960. And I just want to say also that I respect all people on this planet, even people who have a viewpoint that's opposite of mine. And I noticed there wasn't any person speaking in favor of alternative B or alternative C. And I just want to comment on that. We have already been developing oil and gas in Alaska for 50 years. And we are now experiencing climate crisis that was based on pollution that entered the atmosphere in 1973. It takes 50 years for that carbon gases, the greenhouse gases, to permeate the entire atmosphere of this planet. And so we are already locked into another 50 years of climate change getting worse and worse and worse based on what pollution was put into the atmosphere 50 years ago. Ecology has always been more important than economy, and economy and oil and gas extraction, fossil fuels, has been dominating for all of my lifetime and even long before that. It is time now for us as a people, as a species on this planet, all 8 billion of us, to say, it's enough of that. We've destroyed our biosphere so much. We need to act quickly and efficiently to preserve what we have left and to give ecology a chance. Give peace a chance too. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for your comment, Bruce. Your permission to talk. All right, it looks like we've reached our 5 minutes. So it looks like we'll go ahead and close out the meeting if we don't have any more commenters. We wanted to remind folks of where they can find the SEIS and associated documents. You can find that at the link on the screen, and we've also pasted that ePlanning link in the chat. Additionally, we have the contact information up on the screen for our BLM project managers, Serena Sweet and Stephanie Coons, and our Fish and Wildlife Service project manager, Bobby Joe Skivo. So their information is there as well. And then you're welcome to submit comments by November 7th electronically through ePlanning, hard copy by mailing comments to the mailing address that is in the chat. And we'll leave this up just for a moment in case anyone wants to copy anything down. We thank everyone for their time and participation and joining us and providing your comments. And we highly encourage everyone to submit comments, especially if you haven't had a chance to yet. So. All right, I think we'll go ahead and close that out. Have a great night, everyone.